Okie dokie. All right, everybody. So I am in a Zoom room with a few other people, at least one, maybe more. What I'm finding is a lot of these somatic spaces are really small spaces. So if you're out there in the TV lands and you're wondering if I'm talking to anybody, I am. I'm talking to you. Okay, so today we're going to do, my embodiment PSA was about awareness in our head, in our heart, and in our guts, and how sometimes some cultures thought that awareness was coming from the heart. Some cultures feel like awareness is coming from the head. And I'm sure some cultures feel like awareness is coming from the sort of the gut instinct. Let's just take a minute to come in for a landing. And I have different breaths to go with each of those. Clearly, I'm very excited. There are people in my room who I'm super excited to see. So let's just down regulate by slowing down the exhale. So inhaling, and then on the exhale, let's use a theta breath. Just exhaling for as long as it feels comfortable. And then when you're ready, another inhale. We're not trying to, push any edges or limits right now with this breath. We're just trying to calm down, and down regulate into a more parasympathetic state. Letting yourself come in for a landing, checking in, just seeing how you are. Feeling your connection to the earth, the ground underneath you, right? As soon as we land in the sensation of gravity, we fit right in. We belong here. So I'm actually going to play with something today that is part of the Bartenieff fundamentals, part of Irmgard Bartenieff's work, who was one of the people who brought Laban movement analysis to the US. And she does this thing with sounding. And in the system, the way that I learned it is that the sound, we're going to go with ooh, oh, ah, a, e. And the idea is that the ooh is really vibrating low, and it's coming up. The ah is going to be about here, and the e is going to be about here. This may or may not happen for you in your sensation. So maybe just put it in your imagination that we're going to be vowel sounding ooh, oh, ah, e. You can let the E come right into a smile on your face. And we'll just do that for a few minutes, just ooh, oh, ah, e. And I'm going to just move my hand up to, I can feel the sensation really happening in those places, but we're going kind of guts through to the heart and coming up into the head. So we're just starting down low and letting it ride up our awareness. And maybe there's a lot of stuff going on for you as that happens. Ooh. To the smile or not. If you're somewhere where you can't make any noise, you could also do this with a just aspirating, which I feel like doesn't bring the vibration so strongly into the centers. So that's just an option. Ooh, ah, eh. And you don't need to go at the same time as me. You can just play with it. Maybe you want to stay longer in one area than another. I'm just going to keep moving through sort of the same way for another minute or two. Ooh, okay. Ooh. A lower pitch will vibrate lower and a higher pitch will vibrate higher. So at the E, if you took the pitch up, could be really, in your cranium. So listen in for or play into what feels good and interesting in your body. Ooh. Ooh. Resting breaths whenever you need them. Ooh. Inviting that sound just to vibrate the tissue and the fluids in your body. And we're going to invite any kind of micro movement into this whole session. So anything that feels good, anything that feels nourishing, anything that feels delicious, interesting, feel free to move with that. Maybe stillness is what's working for you. Maybe rolling around, could be on the floor, standing, any way of being is fine. So let's actually start in the guts today. And there's a gut breath that is kind of like a gurgling, burbling breath. And it's kind of like, it's hard to do if you're leaning forward, but if you're seated or laying down, much easier laying down. It's kind of like you have some spit in your throat and you're just burbling it. And the invitation is to allow the sort of gut body, the peristalsis, and like all the little sphincters in the gut body that are allowing things to move down, but to really center in like the guts and the intestines and all the stuff that's like going down, right? So bringing ourselves into that. I'm going to do it on my back because it's a lot easier. And it's kind of like you're going to hawk a loogie, but you're not going to spit it out. You can swallow whenever you need to. So just having a little bit of spit in your throat. And you're kind of just bubbling it, inviting any kind of rippling undulations to move, either just move down your body into your guts or move from your guts upward. Like we can let that movement move in any way, but bring your awareness really, maybe with your hands on your belly, into the sensation of having this belly, having these guts, having this instinct and connecting to it. Our relationship to the earth, right? Also down through our guts, our relationship to the ground under our feet, our rootedness to the planet, even maybe to our ancestral lineage. Inviting your awareness to really come in and center in physical sensation, centering in physical sensation, particularly in your belly, in your guts, in your lower back, even maybe all the way down to your sit bones. It's almost like purring, but you want to think, and as you're in it, maybe even take it deeper. So I can have the sound kind of vibrating up here, but with my mind, I can bring it deeper into my body. So letting your awareness ride down deep into that gut instinct. If you feel like you're holding something or you don't feel good about your belly or you've got something wrong or your back hurts, it's okay. It's okay to have that. You don't need to push that away, but just think if you can soften a little bit, however you're holding onto that idea or that pattern. See if you can just soften the pattern. You don't need to make it go away. It can be there, but maybe don't grip it so hard, right? Yeah. digesting our lives, digesting our experience, letting us take the wisdom from our experience, letting us harvest the nourishment from our food, from our lives, so that whatever we're experiencing, we can find little gems of, I want to say little like gems of insight or wisdom or connectedness through this deep acceptance in the guts, deep listening, deep connection. And maybe that radiates all the way down to your toes, right? Maybe that burbling can go all the way down to the soles of your feet, connecting into the earth, right? This sort of lava flow of life force energy in your own body. Letting yourself get into the muck, right? What's in the mud? What's in that compost? Lots of nourishment. So letting yourself get down there into the muck. Remembering what it's like when you're a little kid, maybe playing in the sandbox or finding like some dirt or mud to muck around in. Letting yourself wallow. Those sphincters that are moving through our whole gut body, really intelligent. They know when to close, they know when to let things move through, right? Letting the wisdom of our gut body really come online for us. Like, oh, yes, inviting it in, welcoming it in, accepting it. Even if there's the, ew, yuck, gross part, be like, okay, that's okay too. I can invite that gross part in too. So this is starting to really move through my whole body for me, this exploration. So if other body parts are coming online, they are allowed, they're welcome. They're welcome into the inquiry, into the experience. As if we're one whole gut body, our instinct, our knowing, sort of our deep, primitive, primordial sense of belonging to this planet, our capacity to let go of things, right? To poop it out, to release, to digest and eliminate. Bringing that awareness deep into the gut body. Maybe just for one more minute with that. And then before we move on, just take a minute or two to rest in stillness. If you're deeply in an exciting exploration, then by all means stay there. But if you're ready to just let that process for a second, maybe take a few breaths in stillness. You could come back to the theta breath if that's interesting, that soft his exhale. Maybe even thanking the gut body for its participation, honoring it, welcoming it in, right? Oh, I'm so lucky to have this digestive system. I'm so lucky to have these instincts and this knowing. And I can honor it and accept it. Thank you. And then, if you're ready, bringing your hands up to the heart. And just taking a couple of breaths with your heart. Sometimes the heart just bowls me over so completely that I like so much emotion comes up and I want to cry with all the things, grief, love, gratitude. So we're going to allow anything that you can express that feels like it wants to come up. We're going to invite it in. If you need to not do that, that's also okay. But if you feel like you have the bandwidth to allow your heart to fully express and participate in this moment, then let those things come up and move in and through you. Coming into your awareness of your heart, right? Our hearts really, on the energetic level, on the sort of field level, they radiate very far away from us. They radiate out. And we feel into other people and other people's feelings and the happenings around us. So if it feels okay, maybe inviting in the heart of the world and your heart to be in relationship. And I just want to invite that the fact that our heart is pumping our blood and our blood is moving through our whole body. So we might think that the heart is just here in our physical location of that organ, but that organ is spreading out and gathering in to the whole body, to the very distal edges of our fingertips and toes, to the tips of our head. So when we think about our heart, we don't need to just think about it as being here. We can think about this full participatory flow ongoing in our body. So you can invite in the wings of the heart, the arms, the legs of the heart, all the way down. Yeah, so inviting in the participation of your whole body into your heartedness. Or maybe you just want to enclose around it and nestle and protect it. That's okay too. Letting your awareness really come into this place of emotion, of connecting, of relationship. There's a truth to our hearts, like we see the truth, and sometimes we have to really armor ourselves against what the truth is. But our heart knows and our heart sees that. So, right, just for this moment, if it's okay, if you feel safe enough, allow that armor to just melt away. Just allow that armoring to soften. So that, not so that we can be, shocked by all the stuff, but so that we can allow the integration and the fluidity and the flow to move through us, not to be locked in places. So inviting the wisdom of the heart to process anything that we might have pushed away or not wanted to see, heal, feel, hear, know, that heart knowing, allowing it to be alive and to have its fluidity, its intelligence, its wisdom, its depth, and to let things that might have been stored in there start to flow through. If it feels like, oh my God, it's too much, then just open your eyes, look around the room, come into stillness or shake it out, whatever you need to do. So that's always there for you. We can always step away from the depth. But sometimes maybe we just need to go into the depth. So if that's okay, invite yourself in. Yeah, wow. Like when I go deeper, when I say, okay, what's happening in there, there's definitely a lot of space for some tears and some joy. So we're not shutting it down. We're just allowing it to pour forth, being seen and accepted, and letting it process. It's not just going to sit there and that's it. It's going to keep moving. So maybe giving ourselves some space to be with the truth of the heart. Got a whole body for that, right? That blood flowing through everywhere. So the support is through the whole body. We can invite that flow and beyond because we're radiating out with this heart energy, our heart math. So invite in your whole body, invite in the peripheral edges, those core, distal, center to edge relationships to help process whatever flows need to flow through you, to help you have space for yourself, for your own experience, for your own emotion, for your own truth, and kindness for it and acceptance for it, right? We don't need to have, if shame comes up, we can say, hello, you can be here. We don't need to erase you, but maybe we can soften it a little. Maybe we can soften the way we feel about that shame. Maybe we can soften our hearts to our own shame or our own grief, our own guilt, our own anger. And maybe we can even soften our hearts to our own joy, letting it move with us. Allowing yourself to just dance with that for a few more minutes. If there's stuff, plaque accumulating in your arteries, can you let that soften and let the fluid in your body and the expression of your body reabsorb it and create clearer pathways through your vascular system? Again, we don't want to push it all through too fast. So really honor your own tempo and your own speed. If you need to slow it down, if you need to be somewhere else, that's fine too. Open your eyes whenever you need to. Take in the surroundings. Look around. Just turning your head from side to side, taking in surroundings tells you that you're safe, so we can come back into a sense of safety. No tree is going to fall on us right this second. No cat is going to pounce. No one's ready to attack us right now in this moment. Maybe thanking our heart for beating, thanking our heart for our life force, for that passion, for our capacity to love and to be loved, right? Accepting love is a form of love. Receiving love is a form of love. Thank you, heart. Thank you, other people, other people's hearts. Thank you, the heart of the world. Kind of weird to go from our guts up to our head, but we're doing it. So what I want to invite as we move up into the head is that we're actually going to work with a humming sound. I feel like the hum really lets the vibration happen in your skull. So as we're coming into our mind, we're allowing the thoughts to come. We're trying not to grip onto them. So if things come in, plans, judgments, that kind of stuff, just say, okay, but don't grab on. They can be there. They can move through. They can be fluid. And I'm just putting my hands on my face and on my head just to bring myself up there. We'll go back down to the bottom before it's over, but let's take it up to the head for a minute. And we're going to hum so that we're going to build this nitric oxide in our nose, which is when we hum, the turbines in our nose formulate more nitric oxide, and that is an antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. It's good for us in so many ways. Plus, the humming really activates the vagus nerve. So we're going to play with just humming. And the hum can be at any pitch. It can last as long as it feels good. Just to bring the awareness up here into the mind, into the sensation of having a head, which everybody probably has. Try to make sure that after you hum, you inhale back through your nose so that nitric oxide goes back into your body, into your blood system, into your lungs. Mm. And I want to offer one little funny invitation because I need it. And that is, if going into your head feels kind of like too much, then go into your head and think about your body or think about the ground underneath you. So when you're going into your head, you're not going into this like whirlwind of thoughts, but you can go into your head and be in there in maybe a more nurturing, nourishing way. If the whirlwind feels good, go there. That's fine. Maybe you go into an imaginary fantasy land where you can go think about your body. Mm. We could even let ourselves go into feeling our body because that loop is coming up to your brain, right? That's your nervous system. So we could take the mind into the whole body through the nervous system. Like the heart is going to the whole body, the brain is also going through the whole body through this nervous system feedback loop. So that is a way to bring it in. This bulb of the brain down through the trunk of the nervous system, of the spinal cord, out through the branches of the arms and the legs. Inviting that core distal relationship again from the brain out through the limbs, if that's interesting. As our structures are moving through our body, like our nervous system, it's usually routed out there with our vascular system. So nothing's traveling out there alone. So even when we think we're just moving with one system, it's all these systems together. Our vagus nerve which is coming, 10th cranial nerve coming from our brain, regulating heartbeat, regulating digestion, letting us down regulate, right? It's regulating our body. So it's this whole system. So as we come into the head, we can think of the whole, coming back to the whole. Mm. Mm. And as we're in the thinking place, the mind, I want to take this idea about our guts. So I talked about how the mind is through the nervous system out through the whole body, this feedback loop of information, and the heart is going through our whole body. The guts are too, right? Like the food is going down through our body, but then as our body processes that food, it moves out into our body, it moves out into our blood flow, it nourishes our whole body. So even the guts have this whole body interconnectedness. Letting us just play with that, these interconnected systems working together in harmony. And offering you any of the sounds that feel good, anything that's interesting, anything that feels delicious to move with. Back into the whole body, guts, heart, head. Just noticing when you're with one, when you're with another. Feeling into the more subtle tones and energies that may happen in your body as you're in these states, right? Feeling into maybe the tingling, the buzzing, maybe the flows, or maybe even you start to feel into like, oh, there's a little tension pattern over here. Maybe I can soften that a little bit. Maybe you feel lightness in your body, or maybe you feel like the connection to the earth through the sense of gravity. All of these things are these, mixtures of concepts and feelings and states of being, our nervous system, our blood flow, our gut body. Can I bring my guts into my actions? Can I bring my heart into my actions or inactions, right? Even inaction is an action. Just feeling into it, letting yourself move with that. The wholeness pattern of being a person, the wholeness pattern of being a person in the world with a bunch of other people, right? And the wholeness pattern of sort of accepting our parts that maybe we don't like as much, but we let them have some space with us where we can be accepting, where we can soften our grip, soften our grasp, just let it be a little bit easier. Is there something I can let go of? Is there some crusty, outdated idea or pattern that I'm ready to let go of? Coming into deeper presence with myself, coming into deeper alignment with myself, with my body, with the planet, with the world around me, the beings around me, the non-beings around me, the space. And letting us just sit with that for a couple of breaths. Letting that process and land. So one thing, when we start to do this work and things are starting to shift, it's nice to give yourself more time to rest, more time to receive, more time to process instead of just running into the next thing. Although I know so many people have to run to the next thing too. So that's also okay. The processing might happen later. We might wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, oh, honor the processing. Just going to end the live stream. If you're in TV land or you watch the replay, please feel to like, subscribe, share. And I may be moving these to the Alembic soon. So if that happens, and when that happens, you might need